The Hadzabe once again embark on a daring baboon hunt. Here, instinct becomes art, and survival is their way of life. Let's see how they conquer the wild nature around them. Morning on the Yida Plains begins with the sound of wind rustling through dry bushes and the distant calls of birds. On the rocky hills, the Hadzabe hunters prepare for a challenging day ahead. They move under the soft light of dawn, their sun-browned faces glowing with focus and determination. Today's hunt is unlike any other. They are tracking the baboon, one of the most intelligent and alert creatures on the savannah. A distant call echoes across the rocky slopes. The Hadzabe stop instantly, observing and listening. Every sound, every shift of the wind serves as a signal guiding their way. There are no maps, no modern tools, only instinct and the wisdom passed down through generations. They move slowly, barefoot feet brushing against the dry earth, eyes fixed on the faintest traces on the sand. On a hillside, a troop of baboons comes into view. They move quickly, agile and wary. The hunters crouch low, hiding behind large rocks, watching in silence. The air tightens like a drawn bowstring, every breath is held still. A quiet signal is given. The leading hunter raises his bow, the arrowhead gleaming in the morning sun. Everything pauses for a heartbeat, then the sound of the arrow cuts through the air, sharp and swift. In the next moment, the silence breaks into shouts of joy and laughter echoing across the slope. The hunt has succeeded. They move forward, lifting their prize high under the brilliant morning light. Excitement spreads quickly, smiles, pats on the shoulder, and cheerful calls ripple through the group. For the Hadzabe, this is more than just the result of a hunt. It is proof of courage, skill, and perfect harmony between human and nature. Amid the scorching sun and the dry plains, they once again prove that instinct, intelligence, and unity have always been the keys to their survival through thousands of years. Like if you could feel the heartbeat of this thrilling hunt. The midday sun began to cast its slanted light over the hills of Yida. The Hadzabe hunters returned amid cheerful laughter. They carried their prize, the reward for a morning filled with challenge and skill. Red dust clung to their feet and shoulders, yet every face shone with joy. From afar, those who had stayed in the camp recognized them. Shouts of excitement echoed as feet rushed forward to welcome them. Across the vast savanna, that moment suddenly felt warm and lively, like a small festival in the wilderness. In the golden-orange sunlight, they placed the catch at the center of the camp. Voices and laughter overlapped. Everyone quickly began preparing the meal, lighting fires, gathering wood, washing vegetables, and the ingredients collected during the day. The scent of burning wood drifted with the wind, blending with the dry earth and grass, creating the familiar aroma of life here.
Elas about the corner. Mako, Hamana Bao, Manako Tate. Manako Bahia Koba.
A group of men rubbed 2 wooden sticks together to start a fire. A tiny spark appeared, then smoke, soon bursting into a bright flame under the afternoon sky.
Chocojico. Como a coco atone. Atibi. Fabita Mahodi. What's
Around them, laughter and chatter filled the air. Children ran about while the adults worked and shared stories from the morning hunt, the wind, the baboon calls, the perfect shot. Joy spread throughout the camp.
Coco, check it out, Coco. Ale.
Check it out.
The meat was prepared to roast over glowing coals, while others cooked soup with roots, wild greens, and maize flour. The rich aroma slowly filled the air, the smoke rose gently, and the firelight danced across the sun-darkened faces of the people. It was not merely the preparation of a meal, but a ritual to honor the day's hard-earned success. Each Hadzabe person had their role, some tending the fire, some cooking, some telling stories. They worked amid laughter, in a joy that was simple yet deeply genuine. For them, the feast was not just a reward, but a way to bond, to give thanks to nature and to one another. Comment to share how you felt when they brought the catch back to camp. As the sun slowly sank behind the hills of Yida, the atmosphere in the Hadzabe camp grew lively and unusually warm. The fire crackled, smoke from the cooking rose into the open air, blending with the glowing red of the sunset. Everyone gathered around the flames, their voices and laughter echoing across the savannah. After a long day, this was the moment when the whole tribe celebrated together, not just because they had secured food, but because they had overcome yet another challenge of nature. The first pieces of meat were placed over the glowing coals, fat dripping into the fire and creating a tempting sizzling sound. The scent of smoke and roasted meat mingled and spread with the wind, rich, wild, and full of life. One person turned the meat with a wooden stick, checking that each piece was evenly cooked, while another added vegetables, roots, and tubers into the bubbling pot of soup. Everything happened naturally, without any words or commands. Everyone knew their part, as if it were an instinct carved deeply into the rhythm of life here. When the food was ready, everyone sat together around the fire. There were no tables, no plates, only hands, hearts, and the spirit of sharing. Pieces of meat were passed from hand to hand, the soup pot placed in the center of the circle so that everyone could have a share. Laughter broke out as someone reenacted the morning's arrow shot, another mimicked the call of a baboon, or teased the hunter who had missed his mark. The camp overflowed with voices and firelight, a scene both simple and joyful, as pure and vibrant as the land itself. Amid the feast, there were moments of silence. An elder lifted his gaze toward the sky, where the first stars began to appear. He said nothing, only smiled, the quiet smile of someone who had lived through hundreds of nights like this and knew that every fire, every meal, was proof of his people's enduring existence. Beside him, the younger ones kept laughing and talking, their eyes bright with pride and excitement. They understood that no matter how the world outside might change, here, the way of their ancestors was still being preserved, day after day. The fire burned brighter in the wind. Tiny embers swirled through the air before fading into the night. Everyone remained close together, eating, talking, gazing into the vast savanna beyond. Through the sound of the wind, the distant calls of baboons could still be heard, like a quiet reminder that the great circle of life in nature never truly stops. The feast was not just for hunger. It was a moment to thank the earth, the prey, and one another, for coexisting, for surviving, for sharing the warmth of the same fire. And in that flickering light, the Hadzabe once again returned to their truest selves, free, strong, and at peace. Amid the modern world, where people are becoming increasingly distant from their roots, the Hadzabe still preserve their primal instincts, the very essence that helped their ancestors endure thousands of years of challenges. The Hadzabe teach us that living in harmony with nature is not merely about survival, it is about understanding, appreciating, and being grateful for every breath of life. If you admire this extraordinary journey, subscribe to continue following us and discover more authentic stories of courage, instinct, and the art of survival in the wilds of Africa.